I got him to give Diesel all the art rolls, and he also got
fart rolls.
The art rolls, yes.
The fart rolls.
Except veteran because.
Everybody, my name is Cryo Nerf Mods, and today I am here with GSK Blades, Mr. Sonic OSG, Strasbourg 90, Thalia 14, Walt Sharp, and
anybody else that decides to show up in the next 10
on
minutes.
this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
You should revoke the invite just so whoever's here is here.
Yeah.
Think of it like that.
Nah. All right, so what are we doing tonight?
I'm gonna go ahead and put some images up. I have it on full screen mode. Okay, it is awesome. All right, so welcome to the first podcast of this channel. Hopefully, if Mr. Nathan is up to... he's typing, so let's go ahead and see if he is up for...
I mean, let's just go on ahead and start. I mean, we already recorded one yesterday, but your dumbass decided to not record it.
Nice.
So it's picking up all the audio as well.
You had one job.
Oh, no. Now it's recording everything. Yeah, no. So what we're talking about... What he's saying is yesterday we attempted to record this, and I didn't record my end of it, so now I'm actually recording, and I'm hoping it's catching all their audio, which it should be, because I'm recording Discord. If you're watching this later on in the future, or on YouTube, or sometime, hope to have you on one of these podcasts, along with Beret, if you're watching this as well. Hope to have you guys on here. Who here, speaking of which, before we go ahead and get into the first topic, who knows the Big Cousin Steve, the Nerf YouTuber guy?
I know that he's an asshole.
Me.
He's like good friends with me. I'm good friends with him.
Yeah,
Cool.
This is so funny.
That doesn't change that he's an asshole.
He is chill.
Man, you guys are so angry.
Problems with me, so chill.
Y'all need to hug it out.
Just hug it out.
Okay, going on from that, I'm gonna go ahead. I forgot. All right. Fucking A. Okay.
I need to work on this so I could provide something to the conversation later.
Emphasis on later.
Because when apparently when I open up my images file, it cuts off recordings. So
I mean, Walt's got it.
Recording the actual...
I got you.
The image that I was looking for. What do I want? Let me take it off full screen mode. Let me pull up.
Anyways, what are we talking about?
1 second. And there it is. Nope, that's not it. There it is.
Yeah, lots of leaks yesterday. Dang. Like the past 2 days.
Upload that. F11. Click the image.
And we're going nowhere.
Yeah.
You make this?
Not online. Hello, everybody. My name is Crown Nerf Mods. Welcome to the first podcast on this channel. I'm here with GSK Blades, Mr. Sonic OSG, Strasbourg 90, Thalia 14, and Walt Sharp.
What's up?
And Beret were going to join us today, but they could not make it. They will be in here in later podcasts, along with a couple other people. I go ahead and start this one. Yesterday we had attempted to record this, and me being the idiot that I am, I did not record my end on the audio. So hopefully this records. But go ahead and get into the topics today. So what we're going to be talking about is the leaked Elite Infinus and the AccuStrike Mega Thunderhawk. In my opinion, the Infinus, it's going to be a driven rapid strike. what it is. I don't know what you guys think about it, but go ahead and feel free to.
Well, I think it's not going to be used by a blaster by most of the modding community. I think it's going to be used as a mag loader by most of the modding community.
Same.
I think the Infinus was really gonna have it's really gonna sing during those HVZ games where it's all about scavenging ammo. You don't always have time to reload mags, and when you do, it takes longer than just plopping something in the back of the blaster. But what does have me concerned is the fact that there is an indicator that indicates if you're jammed, and typically you don't. Yeah, there's an indicator on it. It has 3 colors. You have green for ready to fire, yellow for running low, and red for jammed. It was either jammed or out. I believe it's just jammed. And if Hasbro's team decided to, if the blaster's developers thought it must be a necessity to put a jam indicator on the blaster, it might the topping off mech might be very prone to jamming. And we don't know. It's going to come out in the fall, so there's probably stuff they're going to work out, but they're probably going to have a working model at the toy fair they typically do. I believe it's this time of year they do it.
I think it's just that the developers forgot how to do 3-switch rapid strike, so they're just trying to do a 2-switch rapid strike and hoping for the best.
Yeah. Honestly.
The reloading mech, it's a very good idea, but who's going to join us? We almost had Mr. Nathan join, but he's very busy today. I've heard some. He's one of the greatest integrators in the community, hands down. And I've
just
heard,
look at that thing's amazing.
One of the tips I've heard him say was when you integrate, you have to think in the third dimension. I'm thinking in the third dimension. I think the Infinus is going to be a little bit too bulky for the reloading mech to cleanly go on anything. And if you do put it on anything, it's going to be kind of bulky.
16, that had an integrated loading mech, which was just topping off darts as you go, and that was very streamlined.
Was it a pre-build or custom-made?
It was the Dart Tag.
That's a dart squad.
Yeah, Dart Tag Quick 16.
Bring in mind, I think it's a
Rampage that shoots the Tagger darts.
The Quick 16 is literally in the top 10 worst blasters ever made.
But it worked. It's one of the worst because it's reverse plunger. Now, granted, I'm sure someone somewhere has done a direct plunger mod to it.
It's just a really under-supported platform.
Tagline has some really cool stuff. Swarm Fire, the Dart, the Quick 16, Sharp Fire 8. And the new thing that they're coming out with the Infinus, being the 30 dart drum. So now we're gonna have 25, 30, and 35.
Oh.
But if you look at the image of the Infinus, it looks like it says 80 on the drum. Now, granted, Hasbro doesn't have the time to sit there and work out an 80-round drum. However, imagine running two 80 rounds in a Rhino Fire, an upgraded Rhino Fire. Never have to reload.
Okay, for one, you'd still need to reload because the Rhino Fire is full auto and actually kind of shit, to be honest.
Yeah, it is full auto. I'm thinking rate of fire of a Vulcan. Even then, you can get those up to some nasty rate of fires. Honey Badger, you throw one of those in a Rhino and a Vulcan.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how well it worked, but with enough epoxy, anything's possible.
With enough epoxy, anything is possible. That is right.
With epoxy and a dream, anything is possible.
If you can believe, you can achieve.
Sometimes it requires.
That sounds like a fucking cat poster.
Sometimes it requires a hacksaw, but you can make it through.
Okay, this is like very off topic, but I'm looking at the subreddit to see if there's anything.
To what we were talking about here. The other Leaf Blaster, the AccuStrike Mega Thunderhawk. Yeah, another harmonica clip fed style. Deploy reshell. that shoots AccuStrike Megas.
I want to love this thing so much, but it's like
I believe it's Beret.
It's like Nerf made it just to piss off the mod community.
I can't see any benefits to it.
Beret said it amazing. He said it perfectly. It is a AccuStrike deploy, more or less. Battle Scout integrated into one.
Don't be dissing the deploy. The deploy was the coolest Nerf launcher I ever had. Loved it.
I've never touched a deploy.
I've touched a deploy back when they were new.
Not right now. I mean, I'm going to be harassing a deploy.
Deploys are amazing to throw away.
I was on my
one up. I made it into a pump action pistol, and then because I'm using the stock for my LMG Vulcan.
I have a screenshot somewhere on my phone. It's the most beautiful thing ever. See if I don't
hacked up.
No, it's even better.
Oh god, the deplorable Vulcan.
Now the deplorable is a different case altogether.
No, except I'm not doing the not right now, but I'm doing I'm not changing out the handle because I actually like the grip on the Vulcan.
I mean, that's a you thing.
Yeah. Getting back to the AccuStrike Mega Thunderhawk.
Okay. What I want to know is where are they getting these new models to like size the blasters to? Like, I want to know who has like the 6-inch long arm where like all the new socks are like only 6 inches long. I don't know of any like even child that would fit well.
Maybe a 4-year-old.
So this screenshot just
Oh god.
Everyone on this thing can watch see it. Let me go up here and I'll show you
I have more.
Gorgeous collection, by the way, of the white and black. The only problem is they're colored like stormtroopers, so I don't know how accurate they'll be. I think you may have lost a lot of accuracy with those.
I mean, you just gotta put a couple of stocks on, and you've replaced all that accuracy. Made up for it all.
I'm just saying, it depends on what kind of Imperial trooper you're talking about. I mean, you can have black and white. Look at Scout
But you can also have white and black.
But look at Scout Troopers. They hit everything, including the trees on Endor.
Hey guys, if you want to scroll up to yesterday, I posted the Infinus and the...
That is horrible.
I love it. Thundershot or Thunder double picture of it. If you want to scroll up to that so we can all kind of see what we're talking about here. Yeah. You can see how it actually is like a deploy.
Tree is like a deploy. How to unclog a strife. Blades, what the fuck is your autocomplete?
I have several of these.
I just want to know when the little kid that fits that stock on the Thunderhawk has that thing shouldered and he puts down the bipod and that gigantic barrel pops out.
He's gonna go flying backwards.
How quickly is he going to tip forward due to, the front end of the gun becoming like 5 times his body size?
Right.
He'll just start leaning over and his mom will think he's doing a Michael Jackson dance move. And
about this, it does not have a Centurion length prime. God, that thing was horrible. And it was reverse plunger. But it was a mag-fed Mega, which kind of made it feel like a Beret 50 cal.
Let's see if I can't find another beautiful screenshot.
Excuse you.
Excuse me, thank you.
See, the only good thing about the Centurion, and staying within the Mega line and talking about this, is that it had a simulated recoil, and if you painted it black, it looked like a freaking Beret.
And then you got shot by a cop?
If you're using it on a closed field or a set or something.
You'd still get shot by a cop because knowing American police?
Closed set, like you're filming something, and
again, knowing American police.
You're gonna find some way to find you out.
Yep.
So even if you're in a professional Hollywood movie set.
Yes.
Oh my god. But thing they could have done with this Mega AccuStrike is make the stock a Centurion stock, because even that stock on that would be.
The Infinus is a lot bigger than we think, apparently.
Why?
Somebody used the mags and lined up the sizes, and it's a bit significantly bigger than a Hyperfire.
Oh.
I've minimized my Hyperfire, just like cutting off that front plate and then cutting off the handguard. And I'm getting, like, it looks like they tried to integrate the front end of a Rapid Strike and the back end a Rapid Strike and the middle section of a Hyperfire.
They integrated a Rapid Strike and a Rapid Strike?
Rapid Strikes and a Hyperfire.
Okay.
The way the camera is, I don't know why, but that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw this picture.
Of what? Let me scroll down here.
The 7 kg Fire Strike mod that I found on the subreddit. For some reason, the camera, I don't know why.
But no, from what I've seen about that Mega AccuStrike is that you actually have to pull down the bipod to get it to extend.
Yep.
So it's either a bolt action or it's a bolt action rifle.
And I know this is Nerf news, but something we found in Boomco, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago. It was a day ago. Is that there's a repainted M6 for the ODST line? I would assume.
Hey, more Boomco equals more fun, because the moment that Boomco disappears from shelves, most parents will think it's a dead brand and stop buying it, even if it's still on shelves. That made absolutely no sense. What the fuck am I saying?
That made no sense whatsoever.
That made negative sense.
I'm so confused.
I need to get some sleep.
Love Charles.
Here's the scaling.
That brings me to my next point, actually. On Mattel.
All you said was Mattel.
I'll put a bid down on Mattel to buy them out.
Okay. Hasbro has multiple times, like at least 20 times over the last 15 years, tried to buy out Hasbro.
Hasbro's trying to buy out Hasbro.
Yeah. Hasbro at one time fucking sued itself. They're such a fucking conglomerate company that one of their little micro companies tried to sue another one of their fucking micro companies, not realizing that they were owned by the same parent company.
Oh my God.
The moment that they realized that, the lawsuit was just fucking called off.
This is some
Mora's
show kind of stuff
zombie.
right here.
It's hilarious.
This is some Mora's show kind of stuff. Who's the company daddy?
Who the daddy?
Say they actually go ahead and go through with the bidding and they actually buy out Mattel.
They won't be able to.
I don't think Mattel.
No matter how bad of a year Mattel can have, Hasbro will not be able to buy them out, because if Mattel had a bad year, Hasbro had a bad year. There is no in between.
Also antitrust.
They just buy out the Boomco line then.
They won't be able to. Mattel isn't the kind of Mattel aren't the kind of people that they just sell out one of their lines. They'd either have to give up that entire branding, like if a brand fails, they normally use it as a tax write-off, so they're not going to sell it no matter how bad it flops.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot they do tax write-offs.
The original poster of this M6 claims, I can re-find the post.
I thought it was like they painted it and put it back in the case, but then I looked at the bottom and the
I seem to have found it. They have an official post where it's $15 for the Halo Boomco
monster spring load though, which is nice.
The
M6 has one that's good.
I'm just gonna take a 20.
Picture that someone who posted that.
Here's the
picture you posted with the Hyperfire Infinus. I like that because it kind of shows just how big the Infinus is gonna be.
It's gonna be a bulky blaster. I believe it comes at a price point of $70.
Oof.
It's gonna be quite the expensive
Like-
guy.
50, 60, 50, 40.
I feel like a lot of the sales for it are gonna come when it goes on discount from the modding. The modding community.
I'm gonna pick one up. I'm probably gonna pick one up. I'm probably gonna try and vlog Black Friday.
So this is a
Black Friday is about 11 months from now.
these do launch around that time of year though.
They're announcing them
Fall.
now.
So.
They were not announced, but rather they just talked to some people to kind of leak it. I don't know any children.
Intentional leaking. I haven't heard I haven't heard something like that since fucking. Yeah, I haven't heard something like that since Nintendo thought it was a good idea to use cardboard. Oh wait! No, actually, Nintendo Labo looks pretty cool, and I'm actually kind of excited.
It does.
Seen it.
It's essentially a cardboard box.
Yeah,
Well, cardboard
but essentially
box.
a cardboard box is better than
There's something
just
I
a
can make out of a
cardboard
Nerf
box.
box, more or less.
The thing is, it all comes it comes with a game that you're supposed to use. It claims to enhance the experience of the game. I don't know how true that is or not. I don't even own a Switch. So
Never mind. I was gonna make a bad joke there, but gotta keep it somewhat appropriate.
Somewhat appropriate. Then why the fuck am I here?
Posts NSFW not banned.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to
I
keep
probably
my
could,
channel
but
monetized here.
no, I'm not a dick. Okay, I'm not majoritively a dick.
Good thing.
Good.
I'm
Oh,
just waiting for the new
that
rival
is-
blasters.
When are you not looking forward to Rival, man?
Who isn't? That thing is beastly.
I've never shot a rival blaster, and I kind of want one. I want to hear
Same.
Post that in the feed.
Controller.
The only thing
Of course,
rival
Plutonium.
that I actually, the only thing rival boss that I shot was a Zeus.
I'm very
owned-
bad.
Was a chaos, and I loved it, and I got rid of it. I'm so upset, but I traded it for a Raven that had 130s and rewired for a 2S.
I have 3 of those. And one of them is a Stinger.
Yeah, well, not everybody has a big
I
dick, though.
absolutely freaking love it.
I got it off of Cybrin for $50, free shipping.
Not everybody has a big dick, dude.
If somebody wants to post the new rival,
The
Prometheus.
Prometheus?
I got you.
I don't know how to
haven't-
feel
I posted it. It'll close the feed. Yeah, that thing is just beastly looking.
I don't think it's gonna sell well.
What?
Neither do I.
But
I don't
Yeah, the
think
price
it is
went like
that.
$200 or something like that.
It is
What the-
$200. It's $1. Yeah.
It comes with a fucking. It comes with a fucking
Okay.
sling mount or a sling.
Wait! It's $200?
Yes,
It's $200.
$1 a ball.
Are you?
It's $1 a ball.
No,
It's
are you guys
$1 a
serious though? Like how much is it really?
Probably like.
It's 200.
We're not kidding. We're not kidding.
It is
We're
200.
very-
It's really $200.
Yes, it is really $200. Do
All
I
right.
need to say it one more time, or do I need to
Is
fucking
Nerf
tattoo it
on
to the
crack?
inside of your
Who can
eyeball?
afford that?
It is actually $200.
Who can
For
afford
that
that?
same price, you can buy
Nobody.
a fucking
That's why
Terra
everybody's
Scout.
fucking complaining.
No. The people that play
Terra Scout
rival.
and a 250 round dart refill.
Boy, you know how many long shots I could buy with $200?
Okay,
One if you buy a red
3.
one.
but
Not
here's,
if you buy it in a thrift store. I paid $250 for a freaking OG yellow long shot.
here's the
Bro,
point on
set
the
up on it.
Prometheus. If you can't afford the $200 to buy it, you can't afford to run it. I mean, what headshot ammo
And
is
you said
running
this the other
about
day too.
$20. I mean, even if you go with the cheap stuff, you can find it what $10. You're looking at $20 per fill, and you don't get rival balls back. You just don't.
Nope,
So
not at all.
They like to bounce.
right. So
It's one of the biggest money wasters ever.
yeah, but
Like,
it's full auto, just hose down hordes. It is the probably
Then
going to be
again,
the
what's
best point
Captain
control.
Xavier's minigun? That thing is just beastly. But not everyone, has probably the skill set to build something like that.
I just want to take a minute to point out the fact that we have rapid strikes with higher fire rates than the Prometheus.
Yep.
The Prometheus should be getting
Thanks.
around similar fire rates to, when properly modded, you should be getting similar fire rates to, I believe, Chaoses and Nemesis. You should be getting something similar just because of the limits we can push electronics. It claims to have some type of acceleration switch, which is that weird circular thing you see by the handle. That's what I believe that's what it said it was in the article.
It doesn't actually make it fire any faster. It just starts playing a miscellaneous Sonic the Hedgehog theme.
Oh my
It makes you run faster. It's like
Woody Woodpecker.
Wait, why am I... Okay, I thought Sonic the Hedgehog, and then I immediately had the thought of running in the 90s pop into my head. I have been tainted.
Go home drunk.
Go home drunk, you're sober.
Look, somebody had too many fridges tonight.
What the fuck are we doing?
I'm not gonna lie, the Prometheus has, I like how it has like the Vulcan style front grip, and then it's got like the it has like a minigun style
Sorry.
looking blaster. But what are the little what are the little
I'm
hand
just
rail
running
looking-
in the 90s.
Shut up!
I'm not
No,
trying
I'm
to
good.
get copyright flagged here.
No, if
Mine
you
may
want copyright flagged, I will give you copyright flagged.
Shut up!
Nah, I'm good.
I gotta make extra money.
Can you please not yell?
Look at the bottom of the Prometheus. Those look like freaking industrial handrails.
No, I know
I'd
exactly
wager
what
they're
those
metal.
are. Those are the guards from the bottom of the Mastodon. The Mastodon has a cage that goes around the drum on it, so that when you
Right.
set it down, gunk doesn't get into your drum. Same concept.
But it looks like something you'd see in a factory, though.
This is not my words. I don't think I'm gonna say who said this, but I've heard that a lot of stuff with Rival seems to be built off of intended obsolescence.
Obsolescence.
Potato wedges.
He's had a long day. Give him a break.
It seems like Rival's intentional thing is intended obsolete. However you say it, Sonic.
Obsolete.
Intentional obsolescence.
obsolescence.
Oh, now you're just using
you
big
can
words.
you can really see it with the designs of the Apollo in Zeus. If you look at how they're designed, they're just horrible designs. They're both very inefficient. No stock on the Apollo, so priming's a pain. They used a weird hook handle, and the Zeus has a horrible reload. It's not terrible, but
What about the app?
it's very awkward when you're reloading it.
The Atlas? I believe I heard someone say Atlas.
The Atlas, it's just a clunky system. I don't think you can make the Atlas.
Well, because it's legitimately a shotgun. It fires more than one ball at a time.
Yeah,
but if the designs on the Apollo and Zeus, they seem flawed, and from what I heard, this is not my opinion, but I'm just going to pretend it is for sake of simplicity. I believe that these design flaws are intentional, and they were purposely bad. You really think that? I'm pretty sure Rivals thought of the not Rival. I'm pretty sure Hasbro thought of the Nemesis and said, we want this to be a blaster. But the problem with putting out something like the Nemesis first thing is that now you have a 100-round blaster. You can't really expand on it. The Hera is better. The Hera is basically like a Zeus V2. It's efficient compared to the Zeus because of the reloading, the way you reload, the size. Just a lot of stuff about it is far superior to the Zeus, and the Hades intended to scrap the Apollo.
I feel bad about the Artemax, though.
It was someone else's idea, and then Hasbro's just like, "Fuck you, we're patenting it."
I would wager that the Hades has been in research and development a bit longer than the Artemax.
See first, though. Come on.
We've seen it first, but the patents may have been out there for far longer than we can imagine.
Oh, I can imagine a long time.
Like,
Imagine all the people.
How long it takes it to actually develop and come out with these prototypes.
I'm pretty sure when they saw the Artemis selling well, they decided to just make it bigger.
Double the capacity and double the price, and
Double the capacity, double the price. It works.
Well, I'm actually kind of okay with the plan. I'm kind of okay with the planned obsolescence built into it because let's take the issue where the stripes were disappearing. Your stripes were disappearing and they were getting replaced with really, really bad blasters.
Desolator.
Desolators are nice though.
They're ergonomically nice.
They have we have
of the underpowered that's in them. They are so weak stock. It's ridiculous. It's worse than the Jin Urso stock.
I'm thinking modded here. That's why I'm like, desolators aren't that bad.
Thinking modded. I'm thinking bone stock, out of the box, gutless.
Did you just say boneless?
But that's my point. I'd rather this stuff start out suck and get better and better and better than start out good and get more and more suck.
Oh,
in other words, you'd like the rival line to be the mega line.
Mega line turned into, honestly.
No,
it was really good, and then
I love the rival line with what it's doing.
The bad thing with intended obsolescence is you can only go so far. You have a limit as to how obsolete you can make something when you choose that type of model.
Point. It's obsolete. It's ridiculous, but it's got good points to it. It's got the easier storage. It's got a flashlight built into the damn thing. What else?
What are you talking about?
Well,
deploy?
I mean,
the deploy. I don't think the deploy was intended to be obsolete.
The deployable.
The deplorable? That's a mod.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said the deployable.
Even when you look at the old Nerf blasters, which are definitely obsolete now. I mean, from a hobbyist perspective, a stock long shot's nothing. But how many
my
people
first
want...
blaster too was a long shot. The original blue one, and I loved it to death. And I'm like, God damn this! Now that I'm like, oh my God, this thing is absolutely just gutless. And they have, even with all these re-releases they're doing, they still do nothing to fix the problems.
Do you think the re-releases might be catering towards this modding market? Because long shots used to be selling for like an upscale $60, $70 when they were initially taken and replaced with long strikes back in like 2009, 2010. They stopped producing long shots for quite a while, and a lot of people got very afraid that we wouldn't be getting long shots back because the long shot is honestly one of the best modding platforms for springers just because of the large internal plunger tube, the simplicity. It's the origin of clip systems, and I'm surprised that fast forward 10 years, we're still using the same, what they call clips.
Magazines, but yeah.
That's why I said what they call clips.
But
yeah,
that's my point. In the modding community, we hold on to old blasters, even if they are horrible, because of the shell. What we can do with the inside of them. I mean, look at how many people stuck with the rapid strike over the hyperfire. Look at how many people want to do stuff with the deploy. I mean, I kind of want to take them and get screws out of them because they're good replacement screws, but...
That's what I did.
I'm a flywheel blaster guy, so...
I prefer high-powered springers or flywheels.
Springers are the master race.
Well, I mean,
I'm not have any master race.
I play for both teams in that park, but I mean, I'm currently building Battle Scout, Alligator Battle Scout, with the pump action of a Battle Scout actually priming. I'm actually making the priming bars myself because I don't have anything to use, so I sit and just hit these metal rods. I forge out these metal rods out of an old shower curtain hanger thing you put on the wall.
HPA, 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 HP. Okay, I'm done. Shush.
Good for some things, but you single a drain blaster, you're an idiot. Even in this day and age, it's like you should know better.
Don't single drain blasters. Instead, get some old Maverick cylinders and turn them into absolvers and have a drain blaster shotgun like Beret. He's inspired me to want to make that build from his I
want to build a freaking Sax BZ.
I have a real saxophone, and if there weren't people asleep in this house, I could bring it out.
Don't. I don't fucking care if there were people asleep. I'd say don't fucking, because
I'm not terrible at it.
I don't doubt that. It's just saxophones. I'd be threatening to get my trumpet out, and I haven't touched my trumpet in.
Hold on a second. Keep it family friendly.
Okay, for one, not even I thought that, so that was a shit sex pun.
My 19-year-old mind going, okay, time to think something dirty.
I have an 18-year-old mind, and you sound more like a squeaker than I do. So, ha.
I get that a lot. Yeah.
Oh, then fucking drop your balls, bitch. No, in all seriousness, though,
I'm not gonna pick 'em up. You made me drop them. Now I gotta pick them up. God damn it! God. Oof.
But in all seriousness, if you brought out your saxophone, I'd be threatened to pull out my trumpet, and you'd fucking lose.
I can't. I recently bit my lip on the inside, and it's.
Yeah, everybody has excuses.
I can't go to the nurse where I broke my finger.
I can't really eat food. I haven't eaten anything proper in a while because it hurts to eat. Like today, I ate.
Go to a fucking dentist in that case.
I just came back. I have an appointment in a few days. Yeah, I have an appointment in a few days. I'm getting some other dental work done.
What? They're gonna fucking pull out your bottom jaw? You don't need this.
You're gonna get to feel pain for a little bit.
When they numb your mouth,
stings for a little bit.
when they numb your mouth, it's one of the weirdest experiences.
Yeah, because you don't have feeling in a place where you're supposed to have feeling.
Mm-hmm. If you try to drink,
Really, when it goes numb, it's a weird feeling. Oh, someone left.
that was
Let's hope they stay gone.
that was Thaler.
Oh, that person.
Well, getting back on topic with the new Rival Blasters.
There. Hey, Walt, when you send me the audio, you're recording everything, correct?
Yep.
Send it to me as a video file, not an audio file.
Yep. That's the plan.
When I sent me it, it wouldn't.
I got you.
It wouldn't let me upload it anyway.
I do this as a thing, so.
Yeah.
But, getting back to the Rival Blasters, pretty much all they're doing is taking existing blasters and putting more ammo in them.
That seems to work.
Double the price. That's the logic.
I guess that does work.
I mean, what is my little barricade RV10 gonna do to that Hades?
Nothing.
I'm just saying I need 2 Prometheuses with 6 form
Prometheus.
fires.
Promethei.
Promethei.
Okay, so I need 2 Promethei with 6 form fires each.
Swarm fires.
What
I
kind
have-
of
Swarm
mad
of swarm
god
fire.
are you?
Huh?
What kind of mad god are you?
Point control.
What kind of madman are you?
He's just Walt Shark.
If you can't move fast,
Fuck,
you
do I get that?
Gigabytes of stuff from my computer.
Also, have you guys checked out that
Platform.
Discord Canary thing?
So what?
Discord Canary.
I'm running it right now. I got it because apparently there's a thing where if you have Nitro, you can change your Discord tag. So I did. The numbers after your name, you can change them to whatever you want if you have Nitro now, and I think that's actually cool.
So going on to our next topic, what do you think? Like some good mod ideas for just to share out with the community, something that everyone can do. It's an easy modification. For me,
I have
honestly,
one I want to say.
Pennies behind a Maverick spring.
Fun one. Honestly, I've never done a penny mod.
Okay, I'm
Lock
out. I'll talk
removal.
to you guys later.
All right.
I just don't-
Lock removal on a Strife. There you go.
Yeah, that's actually rather easy.
I don't consider lock removals a mod.
actually, if they want
To
to
the
get
city,
into
not a-
modding something that has a lot of
Yeah, believe.
potential, on the Springer route, the Chaos, or not the Chaos, the Kronos.
Oh, nice. You just triggered
8.6.
about half the people that watch my channel.
I'm just
I'd
saying.
say
And then if they want to get in to the flywheel, I guess you could call it, the accelerator. The accelerator actually has a lot of room for routing, so you don't have a lot of
Mhm.
concern with where you're putting the wire. And it actually comes with 20 gauge. So you can just replace
It's ready to go for lipo right out of the box, literally.
the switches won't hold up quite
No,
well
I'm saying
enough.
what the wiring is.
Now, the motors definitely won't hold up, but you can talk to one
Yeah,
of
not to
your
a
3D
3S.
printer friends, and they actually already have motor adapters for Neo Hellcats.
I mean, the blaster's been out for 3 weeks already, 2 or 3 weeks already, so take long to really print something or injection mold something.
But those would be the 2 easiest mods because they're low price point to entry. You don't want to be like, I'm going to do my first mod. Let me get me that there Nemesis or my regulator for like $80.
No, let me get my Nemesis or a regulator.
Exactly. You want to start off cheap. Another good mod is go to Goodwill and take apart a blaster.
Don't do it in the Goodwill. You'll probably get
No, don't do it in the Goodwill. Take it
That's
home
not a
first.
very good idea. Buy it and take it home.
Buy it and take it home. But take it apart. Look at how it works. Because you're...
Why does that sound like something you do on a Saturday night? Buy it and take it home. What?
Yeah.
You somehow made it very awkward.
No, I know that. Yeah.
Bad humor. Don't do it, please.
No, I think the first mod I ever did was a Retaliator they had bought at Walmart. I got it home. I fired it twice. I'm like, fuck this. Took it outside. Never even took it apart and just spray painted it. Eventually opened it up and removed the locks.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned better now, obviously, but when it was my first one, it's always the first one that gets you.
Really, my first mod was a Boomco M6. That's pretty standard. I still have it. It's K26 from Out of Darts. Pretty easy mod.
I love the K26 from Out of Darts.
Is it bad that I don't even fire brand new blasters? I take them out of the box and take my screwdriver to them.
You should always fire them a little bit. Let them live their life as they want to.
No.
And then open them up. Just let them have a little bit of a moment. Let them feel a little special.
Thing I did when I opened up my when I got the Ravenfire on Christmas, I'm like, all right, I'm going to my room. I'll be out in like 20 minutes with a modded blaster.
The first thing I did when I got my Ravenfire was yell at it very angrily because mine had, I had so much solvent weld on my model. It was so frustrating. I ended up breaking the shell of it.
Boil it, right? Like boil off little parts of it.
I couldn't because the way.
But I'm saying you just like some of the on the handle, on the carry handle.
I couldn't because of the way it was solvent welded. There was a lot of it in a place I couldn't get to.
The solvent weld's getting bad. Like, if you've ever taken apart a Nemesis, just how they solvent weld the 3 most annoying screws. You can't drill them out. The way that the Nemesis is built, the 3 screws that they solvent weld for no apparent reason. It's just 3 screws.
Just to give a middle finger to the modern community.
Exactly. So, that's where I put my switches. I took a Dremel to them. Because you couldn't drill them out, so I just dremeled around them and then yanked the post out with pliers.
Finally, Dremel is last Dremel.
That's a design flaw.
I actually, speaking of which, I found when you were talking, someone was talking about long strikes. Source for immortal kits.
Ooh, you probably shouldn't say anything.
I think they're on sale for like $65 right now.
If you're talking about the Orange Modworks site, that says they're in stock, but they're not.
No, NF Strike.
NF Strike has immortal kits?
In our chat, not on the other one.
I'm currently waiting on some stuff from NF Strike. I bought myself one of those artifact sleds. And what has me concerned is the fact that they ran out of one of the items I bought. And they contacted me saying, hey, we're out of this item. Would you like us to send the other items instead? I put yes. They said, okay, thank you for your understanding. I don't know if that means they're sending it or not.
It's on sale.
I'm just going to say this. If you have like stuff people want, if you plan on getting one yourself, I wouldn't say anything. Like somebody said DRS cages are back in stock and now there's only 3 left. There were 20.
I already ordered mine anyway. I ordered it like...
The DRS?
Shit.
So I was originally about to go to bed, but guess what dropped?
What?
A video for the Prometheus.
Oh,
yeah, that's been out for a while.
Where?
I just fucking linked it.
Oh, I've already seen that one.
For Orange Modwork.
There's only one fucking video on the Prometheus.
It's
I
the
gotta watch
popular
this. Hold on.
mechanic ones.
Yes.
The guy on it is an absolute idiot. I wish they would have put it in the hands of somebody that actually understood Nerf. He's trying to wield this thing like it's a friggin' guitar.
Where is it? I'm not seeing
Okay,
it.
hold on. You gotta scroll fucking down on the page. No, anyways. No. Hasbro absolutely fucking hates the modding community. Hence why their new poster boy for YouTube is pretty much becoming Coop. Because Coop has pretty much said no to the modding community because it's a big fucking liability area. You don't want to be endorsing the people that are making Nerf blasters that are easily hitting 300 and 400 FPS and without proper protection could probably hurt somebody pretty fucking bad.
I left a belt on one of my. I was doing a neighborhood war in my obviously neighborhood. Some kid was talking trash because I was using an air restricted and. Or not. My buddy made a deploy with an afterburner on it with an upgraded spring, and I was using that. And the kid was laughing at me, so I took out my long shot with a half-length K26, and I just popped him right in the back.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that Hasbro has absolutely no intention of putting any kind of effort into. That's why they stopped giving a shit about Drac. Not just because of his bullshit that he caused in the drama.
They still support him and stuff, but
no, they don't.
They don't?
They do not endorse him anymore. For fuck's sake, he didn't get invited to HasCon. He showed up at HasCon. He doesn't get really invited to any more press events. He doesn't get sent review blasters anymore. It's because they want to support Coop, because Coop has a larger audience that more hits their target demographic, and he's not modding blasters that can probably kill small things.
I mean, he still does mods, but not like insane integrations and stuff.
No, he does drop-in kits.
You buy it off of the internet and you put it in your blaster.
And drop-in kits fall under a completely different set of legality because they're made by a company and they're not some guy saying, oh yeah, all you gotta do is remove this and this and this from a Nerf blaster to make it hit harder. It's Coop saying in-depth on how to put in a kit.
And then he gives you like a full-on chrono and he does a lot more technical stuff. And
yes,
more about the
Coop's a much better tuber overall. I don't know what your opinions are on Drac, but my personal opinion on Drac is that he's an absolute tit face. That's why I don't go to SENC Wars, because
I heard he's nice in person. Sometimes.
In person, he may be nice, but I don't want to go to SENC Wars to tempt it. If I go to an SENC War, it's going to be to go and visit Walt, maybe a Valor, people like that.
That's why you go.
I'd steer very fucking away from the Drac crowd, because there's going to be like 40, 12 to 15-year-olds that are going to be like, hey, I'm a rowdy YouTuber. I don't want to fucking be anywhere near that kind of bullshit. Anyways, I'm out.
I see ya.
Lately, me talking about Drac, I've been watching kind of his tutorials, and that's kind of the only thing that's good from him, or the knockoff reviews. But sorry, I'm adjusting my mic. Is definitely more. He shows you how to put it together. He doesn't time lapse it. The only thing he time lapses is like unscrewing stuff. Drac time lapses his full fucking installation. Okay, so one blaster that you would want to see remade or brought in from N-Strike to Modulus.
N-Strike to Modulus.
What's the other one they got?
Elite.
Not like a rapid strike style. I'm talking
battle camo,
automatic.
I'm trying to figure out what you're referring to, my friend.
PDCS.
You're cutting in and out for me.
It's still cutting?
There's no way to know. Just talk like normal and I'll tell you.
Oh. I'm talking normally.
Okay. I don't want to say that fixed it, but you're not cutting in and out anymore. So.
Okay. No, I'm saying take the modulus, or not the modulus, the End Strike Stampede, Springs, and put it in modulus or put it in Elite.
I'm no Hasbro rep, but I don't think that would happen. And I could probably give you a reason or two why. At least why I don't think it would happen. For a while now, I was very, very afraid of the future of flywheel automatic blasters that we'd be getting from Hasbro. Now, this is my personal opinion. It didn't happen. I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm glad I was very wrong about this. But I was afraid of the death of the pusher system that we got in the Rapid Strike. As in, Hasbro would stop producing them. And the reason I thought this is because if you look at how Hyperfires perform compared to Rapid Strikes, comparatively, Hyperfires are much, much better Rapid Strikes looking at us from a completely full stock perspective. At least Hasbro would see them as better. The conveyor does like to tear darts, but torn darts mean less darts. Less darts mean parents need to buy darts for their kids. And most parents are less likely to go on something like Lightake to buy darts by the thousands. And they're more likely to gravitate towards like Amazon, where they can buy the
I use AliExpress for darts.
Very pricey Elite darts that we all have grown to absolutely dislike.
Talking about the Prometheus, that same price, a Terra Scout, not the Recon one, the regular one, and a 250 refill dart pack for the same price as the Prometheus.
Yes, Prometheus is very expensive.
If they had made that into the same thing as the Battle Scout, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. Same price, but have that thing mounted to the top of a onto the chassis of a Battle Scout. That would be awesome. Rival needs to do is make a turret or remote control rival Terra Scout.
Rival Terra Scout.
Someone did it with.
I don't think that's what the rival line is about. That's probably why we won't.
It'd be friggin' dope. Well,
it'd be cool, but the rival line is kind of more about the competitiveness. End Strike is kind of where we see a lot more of the wackier concepts.
Campers load out perfectly.
And End Strike has a lot more of the wackier, stranger, more quirky things that we've seen, while Modulus has the modular ability of having all sorts of matching attachments,
which lately they haven't been doing very well with, because now they're going from green and white to blue and white.
Oh no, they're inconsistent as all heck. I agree with you on that.
I mean, I love my ECS 12 or ECS 10. I don't know what the real name for that is. I just call it the ECS 10.
Everyone just calls it the ECS. You are not alone. It's a horrible name choice, but
now with I believe a Strife Cage. That was like one of the first flywheel mods I've done. Yeah. I don't know why. Now the shell doesn't close properly. For bigger wheels. That's what it was. Atheist. Let's see what else. What other leaked blasters do we know of yet, or is that it?
I believe that's it for the time being.
Wait, let me see if I can find. The Dreadbolt is something I wanted to talk about. What the fuck were they smoking when they designed the Dreadbolt?
Dreadbolt or Wraithbolt?
Dreadbolt, the big one.
The big one. I kind of like the Dreadbolt. It's wrong and it's horrible, and I don't know why it exists, but again, it's for Zombie Strike.
What were they thinking? The Walking Dead. Zombie Strike was supposed to start out as a Western-themed blaster set, but then Walking Dead became a thing, and they're like, yeah. Instead of making it, gunslingers, make it something that,
Lands turned into is kind of a gunslinger.
I mean, when you look at the Zombie Strike line, you have a hammer-fired revolver, which is perfectly
Have something similar to that in Doomlands, which is the Persuader, which is a 4-shot, but it's still hammer action. And you also have the
Sling Fire, the Lever Fire 2020, basically. You have the shotgun.
I love the Sling Fire.
It's all Western stuff, though. It's not post-apocalyptic zombie outbreak. When you think of zombie outbreak, you think
Persuader. You have the not the Persuader. What's the 10-round or 12-round revolver rifle?
Negotiator? No.
Lawbringer.
He's a Lawbringer.
There it is. Negotiator, which is also a revolver.
The pistol. Apparently Persuaders are very, very nice, from what I've heard. Apparently,
Lawbringer is so hard to find, though. I can never find it.
Lawbringers, you probably have to buy one online. I'm struggling to find a Modulus ECS. I want the V2 because a lesser known fact, the Modulus apparently has 3 different revisions.
With one from New Island as well.
The Modulus, the handle on it has been changed, so it hurts less. I have a pal of mine who showed me it. I can't pinpoint it exactly. I've never held a Modulus outside of the box.
Cat.
But I wish they would go back into like the dart tag mindset with actually good blasters.
Yeah, but make them all direct instead of reverse plunger.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine how well and how inexpensive it would be to make swarm fires nowadays?
There it is.
Speed 8s. Even a quick 16.
I wouldn't say it's about. Sorry to cut you off there. I wouldn't say it's about making something that's just inexpensive, but it also has to be. It has to hit a certain performance benchmark. Now, one thing that made the Hyperfire superior to the Rapid Strike when it first came out is at least the mind of the children. Because remember, we're not the target audience here. They're not advertising to us modders. Right. They don't really care for us.
So that's what the Rival line is. It's for the older.
Yeah, that's what the Rival. That's why I play Rival. I'm the old grumpy man.
But not the modders. The Arrival line's more for the 14-year-olds because it's a very good demographic. You have your parent who's very concerned that if they buy their kid an airsoft gun, they're gonna turn it into some type of gun nut. It's a completely outrageous thing for our parents to just assume that something like this is gonna make their kid go do something violent. If they do, that's just bad parenting, and you're not doing something right.
It has nothing to do with violence and exposure. I mean, it has a little bit of exposure to Call of Duty and that shit, but not gonna hate on Call of Duty. I actually like the series, but it also has to do with parents, giving them. Okay, but you can't shoot this, but you can't shoot this.
I know growing up, if I would have got into airsoft, my parents definitely wouldn't have supported me going into airsoft. They wouldn't buy me anything for airsoft because typically in the mind of the parents, they see airsoft as some type of big, bulky, menacing beast that's just gonna hurt their kids. So I
built my own airsoft gun out of a pill bottle and a big pen.
They just buy their kids Nerf guns because they're advertised for kids. So then Hasbro said I would assume Hasbro said there's a market for older kids in Nerf, so we made the Rival line.
Shot if you walk outside with a Nerf gun, unless it's some hick in the middle of Hicksville. It's like he got a gun.
Well, part of the problem too is like when you start looking at airsoft, it's filled with a bunch of tryhards basically.
Like airsoft is expensive. I gotta tell you though, you get some good quality rages in there though.
But
airsoft has about milsim as well.
Yeah, but winning and
You do
losing
Nerf
matters.
Milsims. That would be awesome.
Winning and
Nerf
losing
Milsims.
matters in airsoft. Winning and losing doesn't matter in Nerf. Half the games I go to, nobody knows who won the round. It doesn't matter. You're out there flinging foam, having a good time.
That's really what it's all about. It's quite a magical hobby. Like I can't think of a time I've gone to an event. Psych, I haven't gone to an event. I can't think of too many times that people have gone to events and, you know, as long as they didn't get super into the game, had a bad time. Like it's not hard. It's not easy to have a bad time while doing Nerf.
Now I'm looking at some worker kits. I want to do kind of probably a live streamed on YouTube, a live stream like review or something. I'm looking. I got some really nice newer stuff. This thing, what the hell? I don't know. But appearance kit is only 107 on AliExpress. For the CQR kit.
I'm focusing on something else right now. I'm sorry.
Don't know. I print my own kits, so I'm probably a bad one to ask about body kits.
Yeah, I gotta get a 3D printer. Well, hey, okay. Speaking of that, what would you recommend as a good 3D printer for like someone who's a beginner?
I have no experience, so you're gonna have to ask Walt on this.
Hey, Sonic, or what's his name?
Well, it depends on how much money you want to spend. Honestly, if you have,
I heard the Creality CR10 is good.
The CR10 is a phenomenal printer. The CR10S is even better because it has dual leads, but that's debated because more parts, more stuff to go wrong. So 10 or the CR10 or the CR10S, but you're looking at in between a $400 or $500 price point. That's a lot of money for people to drop.
What about the Da Vinci Mini?
I would avoid Da Vinci personally. That's my personal take on it. If you like a Da Vinci and it's working well for you, more power to you. Every printer, even the Catch on Fire ANET A8, is a great printer if set up properly and maintained properly.
Right. But what about this Tron XY100?
The Tron XY, you're going to run into a problem. You're limited to to PLA only because it doesn't come with a heated bed, and it's also a kit. So it's a little more difficult for a new user to get into a kit. A good starting point, and I actually run two of these.
Select.
The MP Select Mini. I run two of them, and they're great to learn on. And even when you look into the high end, so like Captain Slug runs one. I run two of them.
How big is
runs one. The MP Mini will print 120 by 120 by 120. You can print a caliburn on it. You can print all the parts of an FDL except for one on it. You can print.
He cut out.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, you cut out for a split second.
So it's 120 by 120 by 120. You can print a lot of stuff on it. You can print a caliburn on it. You can print all the parts of an FDL minus the electronics cover on it. You can print strife cages for days. Basically, it's 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches. This is the easy way to think about it. That math is a little wrong, but if you can visualize a 4-inch cube and you can fit it in there, you can easily print it. Now, there's some tricks with like using software like Mesh Mixer and stuff where you can slice up stuff.
What's the i3?
The i3, you're paying. I mean, if you just want to pay through the nose, if you want to pay. It's like, would you buy the Powerball or would you buy the Atlas? You know, one's the Nerf name brand, one works better, but it doesn't have the name brand. So, like, the i3 is like the staple printer. You got to build it yourself or pay to have it assembled. It has all the bells and whistles. It has all the features.
The whistles.
Whistles, yeah. It's just like a LulzBot. Like, a LulzBot is very similar to a CR10, where CR10 is going to run you $500 for a CR10S. A LulzBot's going to run you $2,000 for a LulzBot TS. You're paying for the name. The one that you had put there is the ANET A8. It is a horrible printer to learn on. I'm just going to be honest there. You're exposed to mains voltages. It deals a lot with printed parts, making it up, so there's a lot of flex in it. It doesn't have a MOSFET, so it can actually catch on fire. Once you understand it and know what the problems are, it's fine. People run those good and get great resolution off of them. You have to do a lot of modifications to it to make it work. It's like any reverse plunger blaster to bring it back into Nerf. You can make a reverse plunger blaster good by changing about everything about it.
Now, I'm gonna link one real quick, and it's 300, but it's here. I want to say than the Mini, than the Maker Select Mini or the MS3D whatever.
Go ahead and link it. I'll take a look.
Yeah, because I'm trying to convince my parents to let me get one, because I told them what I want it for. Really fucking not. So I am buying one for myself.
That's actually the one that Dart Dragon uses. It's a little larger than the Monoprice Select Mini V2. It's a little less stable. You don't get as good print quality off of it, but in turn, you actually have a larger bed. So you would be able to print an entire FDL. You would be able to print an Apollo pump grip kit.
Now, I'd be using it to just print like kits.
Like body kits? Like what kind of kits?
An aesthetic kit for like a Strife.
You're going to want a bigger thing for that. Like, I can... If you've seen the... What do they call it? I know what mine's called.
FL Sun?
No. I'm trying... let me get the link here for you so I don't say it wrong.
40.
I apologize.
There's a Dremel 3D40.
Dremel, you're paying for a brand name.
Well, it's a good looking printer. It's a good looking printer though.
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to see the size of it. Oh my god, Zorro has it for $9,800.
It's a small printer. It's about $1,000 for the Dremel 3D. And it's about the same price as the Mono Select Mini version 2. But it's enclosed, so it'll print ABS easier. It'll print PETG easier.
Got this TiVo Tornado mode. It's a piece of shit.
Okay, the TiVo Tornado and the Creality CR10 go neck and neck. It's kind of like Nerf and Boomco. Which do you like better? The benefits to the Tornado, don't get the Tarantula. The Tarantula is a kit. There's, again, a lot of people that run them and do fantastic things with it. It's not a good first kit because you have to build it from the ground up and you got to know what you're doing, and there's a lot of tweaking and a lot of fiddling. And it's a high learning curve on your first printer. But the Tornado assembles just like a CR10. It's got the same build area as the CR10. Instead of having the DC... Okay, one of the things you got to worry about on 3D printers is a heated bed. A heated bed does a lot for you. It makes stuff stick. And one thing you look at a lot in 3D printing is your bed adhesion. Okay, so bed adhesion is how well the plastic sticks on that first layer. Your first,
Hairspray.
hairspray works, glue stick works. There's a lot of tricks to it, but one of the things you can't replace, especially when you're dealing with something like PETG or ABS, is heat. You need heat on the bed. I only run my printer at 45 degrees C on the bed, but I only print PLA. When I print PETG, that goes up to 65. And everything in 3D printing, you have to learn metric for it. There is no Fahrenheit. You're not going to hear some 3D printer guy go, yeah, I got my bed temperature set to 210 degrees and my nozzle set to 500. No, it's all going to be in metric, Celsius, centigrade, whatever you want to call it there.
Oh, it's just 32 degrees less, isn't it?
Well, no. It's a lot more complicated than that.
In Fahrenheit is 0. Freezing in Celsius is negative 32.
Yeah. But what's boiling in Fahrenheit?
12?
And it's 100 in Celsius.
That's... Fuck.
So it's not... You just learn the... You learn it. You just stop thinking like an American and you think like the rest of the world, because let's face it, Americans pretty much are the only one that are still holding on to the imperial measurements because we don't like change. But that being said, back to the issues with the printers. The TiVo Tornado, one of the huge things it's got going for it is its heated bed, instead of being DC current, which is a lower voltage and takes longer to heat up for those high temperature plastics like ABS and PETG, you actually have
an alternating current.
You have an AC heater, so it literally cuts your heat time on your bed in half. So that prep time while you're standing there, because until you get really, really in touch with your printer, and even me, when I change my filament rolls for my first 3 or 4 prints, I watch the entire first layer go down, and then I watch the entire second layer go down, because your first and second layer is going to determine how the print goes. If your first layer is bad, the entire print's going to be bad. If your first layer is good, you normally do not error out at 99%. You can have power failure or something like that. It's possible, but it normally doesn't happen.
You can have a what? What?
A power failure. Your electricity can go out.
Put it into an APC anyway, so.
You're not going to get enough runtime off there. That's another thing that people think about 3D printers. If I'm printing something, right now one of my printers is printing out 2 Swarm Fire mounts for my Nemesis.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, I'm using this as an example. They are about the size of a credit card. It's taking 3 hours to print 2 things about the size of a credit card and 10 millimeters tall. It's not a fast process. So if your power goes out and you have an uninterruptible power supply, you're still going to lose power to your printer. It's not going to complete in the time.
You string like 3 APC backups together. One dies, so the next one has charge. That one dies, and the next one has... I don't know.
No, it wouldn't work like that. Now, that's where like paying for something like the Prusa makes sense, because Prusa has like power interrupts. If you have like a little brother that like walks in and bumps into your printer on a printer like the Mini or the Tornado or the CR10, you're taking it off, putting that part in the trash and starting all over because it got misaligned. The print head doesn't know where it's at. It knows where it's moving to from where it's at currently. So if somebody physically moves it, it goes, okay, I'm just going to start printing from here. Well,
I'm glad I don't have any siblings. I only have 2 cats and a dog.
Well, if your cat hits it, the same thing could happen.
Dodge anyway, so.
But
3D printing is hard.
It can be. It's a lot harder than press button, get parts. It's not intimidating, but at the same time, you can't think of it like a Star Trek replicator. You can't go, I want this, print, and instantly have it. It takes time. Also, if you're looking to get into 3D printing. Now, I say this with all the best intentions. Don't get a printer first. The first thing you want to do is go download Fusion 360 and play around with a modeling program, because you only can download stuff and print stuff from like Thingiverse for so long.
Yeah. That's what I plan to do until because I have something on my laptop, which is what I would hook it up to, so this way I can carry it outside. I've got something like 3D, I think Sketch or something like that, 3D Sculpt.
Oh my god.
Autodesk.
Okay, for anybody that's listening to this podcast and you want to get into 3D modeling, please, please, please look at the type of 3D modeling you're going to be doing. If you're doing something for animation, so like film short, something like that, Blender is a fantastic option. If you're going to be doing it for 3D printing, a program like Blender is going to be absolutely horrible. That's one of the main complaints I have about the Foxfire is it has such bad geometry. It does not print or modify well because it was built in a program that's meant for 3D animation instead of what they call... Oop, my printer's done. It was made in a program for 3D modeling instead of 3D manufacturing. It's called parametric.
Microsoft Store for that, or no?
The best program you want to get into to learn parametric modeling for free is going to be Fusion 360. Pretty much everybody that does Nerf, that does parametric modeling, does Fusion 360. Another program you can do, and you can actually get this from Amazon for free, is 123D Design, which is
Autodesk.
It's all done by Autodesk. Yeah, it's CAD.
Amazon.
123D Design. It's a baby version of Fusion 360. I actually would recommend not getting that one and going straight to Fusion 360 because 123D Design is going to teach you a lot of bad habits. And I do mean it's going to teach you a lot of bad habits.
So Fusion 360 is the way to go then.
Pretty much. I mean, unless you want to pay for something, like you could get SolidWorks. There's all kinds of paid programs you could get, but I mean, if you're looking at this from a hobbyist perspective, sorry about the tapping. I'm taking something off of a printer.
It's good.
360 free, or do you have to pay for it?
Fusion 360 is free as long as you're not a large business. You just have to put in that you're a hobbyist.
To create an account. Okay, that's doable.
Yeah, it's nice and easy. It's all cloud-based, so like your account follows you everywhere you go. There are tons of tutorials on YouTube on how to use Fusion 360 to make basically whatever you want.
Educational role, what do I put?
I'm sorry?
Educational role.
Hobbyist, maker.
Oh, it has student, educator, school administrator, design competition.
I don't know. I did none of those. I put maker, and then that I'm not a business.
You're right. Well, this is for creating an account, not downloading it.
Pick one. I wouldn't put educator, so put student.
You get a free 3-year license or some shit like that.
And it just auto renews.
Part in too fucking bad. Thank God. I was about to say, do I have to scroll down to all this shit? Chrome autofill settings. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm catching a cold.
What's the best filament to run?
Well, that actually all depends on who you ask. It's kind of asking what's better, Ford or Chevy. There are some
like JDM, but that's just me.
Okay. Honda or Toyota, even if you're going JDM, there's an argument there for the same thing. It all depends on who you ask. Hatchbox is a really good PLA filament. I don't personally use them, but they got great quality. You also have people. Example is Containment Crew. Everything they print in ABS, which is a different kind of chemical makeup. It's more temperature resistant. It's much harder to learn how to print on, and it's got its own limitations and problems. Project FDL, they print majority of their stuff in PLA because that's what works best for them. A lot of this, unfortunately, I like to say 3D printing is part science and part art. Because you kind of, sorry for being dirty, you gotta be like a blind man at a strip club. You kind of feel your way through.
I like that.
You can research as much as you want, but reading on it, a perfect example of this, around Christmas time.
Design because I don't want to set up a freaking match.
Around Christmas time, I was helping out on the Monoprice Facebook groups because it's one of the cheapest printers you can get on Amazon. A lot of people got it for Christmas and we're having problems saying no. This will give you an idea. No matter how much you read, until you do it, it doesn't make sense to you. So one of the first things you have to do is level your bed. So I was helping this particular person over Facebook who wasn't able to get their first layer to print at all on the sample file that came with the printer. So
right.
I'm like, did you level your bed? Because that's what any 3D printer person would say to another 3D printer person. And they said yes. So I go through troubleshoot. Still not printing. How did you level your bed? Well, I took out a level and I leveled all. No, you're not leveling it to earth. You're leveling it to the print head. Grab a piece of paper. It's something that weird. Like when a normal person hears you gotta level your bed, they're thinking, bubble level. Gotta make sure it's on a flat surface and everything looks right. A 3D printer, I can print sideways. I can print on a desk at a 45-degree angle. It doesn't care.
Bond it.
It doesn't care about the relativity to Earth. When we say level of bed, what we're talking about is there's an arm that goes across that has what we call a hot end on it, which is where the filament comes out of, at least for FDM printing. You have to level your bed to the hot end.
Okay.
So until you do it your first time, it's like having sex. You can prepare for it as much as you want. Your first time, you're going to have no clue what's going on. You literally just got to feel your way through.
My foot. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to get onto the topic of modding and integrations again. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna post something in the chat of one of probably my favorite integrations I've ever done. You'll see why I've done. I'm just gonna go ahead and just go ahead and post that.
That looks nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was nice when it worked and when it was a thing. Kind of fell off my shelf. The way it landed, it snapped the front barrel.
That's not good.
Scrapped all the parts that I could and threw it out. Yeah, okay, it's gone. But yeah, no, I had integrated a rapid strike. For those of you who can't see it, but you've seen my old video, the rapid strife. That doesn't exist anymore. It's, as I'm telling now, it's
has gone on to a better place, aka the loose parts and the screw bin.
That cracked. So
gotta
yeah, it hit hard. Tower stand.
Oh,
Off my.
real quick, back to 3D printing. You cannot get frustrated easy. I'm off by 25 microns. I'm off by the width of about 3 human hairs.
Severely.
The part's not going to work because I'm off by the width of 3 human hairs.
Is it in what did you print exactly?
A mounting bracket.
Oh, the mount. Where is it?
The M3 threads are not fitting in, and it's not grabbing, and it's compressing the plastic.
Is I don't know. I gotta say, Mr. Nathan has got some gorgeous mods. I wish he would be in the the podcast with us. No, I'm gonna get on this last topic, and then we're gonna wrap this podcast up. But talking about some of our favorite, mods or integrations. For me, it's either Coop's Dahmer, which is just amazing because I know you like Swarm Fires. Let's see what else. Probably my personal. See, I have a picture of it. Osiris. If I have a picture of Osiris on my computer. But it's the dual flywheel Straven that I built. With the Rapid Strike pusher integrated to the back of it. It's a project. And now I have to figure out how I'm going to switch behind the trigger so I can wire to the pusher. But something. But what are some of your favorite integrations or mods?
I'm not huge on integrations other than Dahmer, Pwnsaw, that kind of thing. But anything that makes it fire more ammo because what's the ammo control? I don't understand that concept. But as far as the mods, any mod that actually makes a blaster fit your role better. On the failed attempt yesterday, it was actually kind of interesting having Beret with us because Beret
He's online.
He's online, yeah.
Want to see if he wants to join?
Sure.
Just for this.
I think he was busy. That's why he couldn't join tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's online now.
Yeah.
Not busy. Yeah. What were you saying?
Okay, so one of the interesting things about last night is me and Beret play a very, very different game. Beret loves taking. I'm saying this in the most loving way possible. Janky.
Absolutely, I understand completely. It's all about
He takes janky stuff and gets kills with it. And
the Retaliator Battle Scout integration.
Yeah, he focuses on how can he take something bad and make it usable. Where he's able to do that because of the type of player he is. His based around speed. It's the way he plays. I got in a car accident over 20 years ago. I got fake knees. I can't run. So I can never play the way he plays. So my game style is set on as much ammo as you can and put it downfield as fast as possible. So it's very interesting having different types of people like that to be able to play together and work as a team. Like, when you look at Tag Squad Elite from the SCNC, they each have their own like role in it. Um, you have one guy that's there to do nothing but support the other players. It doesn't matter if he gets tags or not. He's there to carry ammo. He's there to relay messages. He's there to make his team a better team. You got a point man there on it. You have somebody that specializes in suppressive fire,
Right.
so forth and so on. It's interesting to see the different roles the different people have and how well their ideas can either mesh or diverge.
What was I saying? What were you saying about the thing that I wanted to go into? Oh, shit, I forgot.
We were talking about integrations and how different people
What
like
you were
different
talking about the play style.
yeah.
There was a video Coop did when he does the stereotypes, which is probably the only reason I watch his channel. The cheat or what was it? The guy who the strategy guy, where everyone's like they have the one ammo bitch.
hmm
And there's the guy who just carries ammo, and really, I'm like, that's the ammo bitch.
It's okay
Ammo
with the squad I'm rolling with at End War this year.
I hope to go to Enmore.
I'll be there. We're going to have a real problem, and we're actually talking to some of our people there. Okay, so in the squad I'm running in, there are a lot of heavy gunners. That's probably the understatement of the year. We're going to be there to just hold objectives, pretty much. We're the crowd control. We're the horde control.
You're the Mustangs leaving the car meets.
And maybe, but
Crowd control.
yeah. But we only can fire as long as we have ammo, and
Right.
even with my crazy, like, if you've seen my blasters with the pods all over, my belt that holds 18 magazines, we run out of ammo. It happens when you're a ready to fire machine. We also have to have fast players because, like,
That's it all. I skinniest guy, and I'm not fast at all.
well, that's
But
fine.
I can hunger down in spots and crouch and aim around and not blind fire, but cover fire. Why I use my Draven.
It's all a game of checks and balances. You're basically playing a giant game of paper, rock, scissors. Your regular grunt dies to heavies. Heavies die to flank attacks. Flank attacks die to your regular grunts. It's paper, rock, scissors. So we have to have.
But then you have the snipers who die to absolutely nothing.
Well, that's to be expected at this point.
What's a sniper really, though, in Nerf?
The only way you can have a true sniper, brass barrel, spring,
Well, at an event,
to hit those ranges. Not like hundreds and hundreds of yards, but I'm talking maybe 100-foot shot.
at an event like End War, A, your engagement ranges aren't going to be that long. B, everybody's at the same speed. Like, you're limited to 130 feet per second. Doesn't matter whether it's coming out of a Nemesis FDL or a Maverick. You're limited to 130 feet per second. You can have a Caliburn. You're limited to 130 feet per second. They all have the exact same distance. Now, you could argue that some have more accuracy than the others, but at the end of the day, it's all Nerf darts. They're all inaccurate.
No, I was actually looking to get a Caliburn. Not sure. We want to get one though.
The Caliburn seems like the pinnacle of U.S. springers, where the FDL is like the pinnacle of U.S. flywheels.
And then you have what is it? In like Australia.
Well, like over in Australia, they run a lot of HVA, which
There's more just TDM, Team Deathmatch.
yeah, and it's a different kind of game over there because they don't have airsoft. So like Nerf is their milsim.
Sounds like an awesome milsim I would go to.
I'm not
Nerf
saying
milsim.
I'm not saying that's bad. It's like Singapore. You look at Singapore. You take an SCNC squad from us over to Singapore, minus Drac, who goes over there all the time apparently. We're going to be so out of place there because they all play with like crazy long shots, where SCNC territory
hitting, like,
is more based around like rate of fire.
Don't ring me.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. The deploy is slam fire. Slam fire. No. I never knew. And I was tinkering with it. And, I'm firing it. I'm like, I wonder. And I just start pop, 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 pop. It's insane. I never knew it had slam fire. That was, okay. Strike was using slam fire. No, End War is something that I do want to go to. Again, for me, it has to do with, going thousands and thousands of miles north and then, driving that because I can't fly with Nerf guns. I'm not going to go into an airport with a suitcase, full of Nerf guns and the scanners. It's either I drive. Kind of need a reason to road trip my car.
I wish End of War was a different kind of game.
So, it's done.
Uh-oh.
It's done. I have to actually hold up. It's not done. Never mind. Whoops, daisies. False alarm.
It kind of bothers me that End of War is like one of the premier Nerf events that everybody thinks about that's in the Nerfing community, and it's not a Nerf game. I don't have a nice way to say that. Like you die, you get tagged out, and then it becomes a game of tag. You don't get to play with your Nerf blasters. You don't get to fling foam. You're running around playing hide and go seek tag. I'm not an HVZ player. I know there's tons of people that are, and I have mad respect for them.
I can't find out how to get into HVZ. I don't like it. I prefer the old school team deathmatch, free for all, capture the flag, hard point type stuff.
I want to see Nerf blasters on Nerf blasters, not Nerf blasters on tag. That's the only thing that bothers me about End War. But that being said, it's going to be awesome. I'm mostly going for FoamCon. It's going to be awesome to see Michelle again, to see Adriana, to see...
Hey, Beret! What's going on? How's your day going?
Beret!
Hey, Beret.
Hello.
It's,
Beret is here on the podcast with us tonight.
It's Beret.
I'm still not sure on how to say it.
It's apparently whatever you feel like saying.
It's Beret that sometimes
Banana.
wears a beret.
Yes. That is what I say. Or you can say Beret. Chalo. But that's, your choice.
Well, if I say Beret, I'm going to think that you have like a cool daughter like named Tifa, and then it's going to be awkward. I'm just saying.
But yeah, no, definitely. End War is something that I do want to go to. Okay, I was saying it's many hours of driving. Gotta go all the way north.
How many hours is that?
South Florida, and I have to go all the way to, what is it, Ohio?
We'll try being on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Got him.
So that'll be a plane ticket instead. No, thank you, driving.
I think I'd rather road trip because going through airports with Nerf guns probably not the safest looking thing.
Just don't do a dumb.
You check them. It's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, see,
The lipos are actually the hard part.
Yes, that would be the challenging part.
do IMRs.
But I don't have to worry about that.
And that's when Cryo had asked you to come in, that's one of the things we were talking about. I was talking about how awesome it was to have players that have completely different styles. For example, you and me play completely differently, but we can both have the same passion about even the same match because it's all checks and balances. It's paper, rock, scissors.
Yeah, when it comes down to it. Like, personally, I'm running, a shotgun. I don't know what that would be, but assault, anything semi-auto, obviously flywheel. Anything.
Are we talking about loadouts or playstyles? What did I jump into?
Playstyles.
No, because you can run assault classes, but I'm personally, that's personally me, assault or support. Heavy, once I finish my LMG Vulcan, I'll probably be running heavies. I could dual wield my Rhino fires, but I'd rather not do that. It'd be interesting to make a video on, though.
I'm the kind of person who will do just about anything if that's what seems to be the best course of action, or I literally just feel like doing that. If you tell me just to stay in this one spot because we need a good defense, all right, so be it. If we need to keep attacking someone, I can do that too. I guess the one thing that I am not super good at is being the Nerf sniper, so to speak. And there is a play style these days, especially if you go to NIC style events where that's almost everyone kind of finds their best fit for that role, the Nerf sniper, something that deals more with those long range engagements. That's one thing that I'm probably not as good at. The closest I come is the Boomco M6 pistol. So I, for one, don't really have too much more stuff that can compete on that level. I could ask some other people to borrow something, but when it comes down to it, I still, even if I did borrow a friend's Caliburn or can't think of anything else immediately off the top of my head, but just something
pump, snap, something like that.
Some other homemade.
That one guy who brings a single drain blaster to an event.
Barf. I'm not so good with those kinds of shots. Shorter range projectile motion is doable for my mind. But when it actually comes to real firearms, I've shot a couple times really, and it turns out I'm right hand dominant and left eye dominant, so I am terrible with target shooting. I have found out, and it is kind of amusing how bad I am, but that's okay. Nerf is different,
right?
And now you know. So that's play styles. I'll do anything. I'm that kind of person. I like exploring the different possibilities. I'm just not as I would not trust myself so much if you said, Brett, you need to be a sniper. You need to watch this long hallway or something. So it's been a joke with me in my earlier stages, with my friend who's taken me out actually shooting at targets before. Brett the sniper is a joke phrase and will probably always be a joke phrase regardless of what I'm using. There just is not a Brett the sniper out there.
in Nerf, hobby and in Nerf wars in general, there really isn't a sniper, as Walt and I and GSK were talking about. The only real way we were talking, the only true way you can end up with a real hardcore sniper in Nerf, you're shooting Steffens, you've got a monster spring load, and you've got a full brass barrel or brass breech. And it's really the only way you're going to be able to actually hit those 100, 110, 120 foot ranges.
I suppose so. If you're talking like extreme range, possibly. Have you seen Bradley Phillips's footage?
Who?
Bradley Phillips. He's an Australian guy.
Bradley Phillips does some phenomenal footage. It's a different play style.
Mm-hmm. And he rocks that sniper style. He's got it down. I'm sure there are other people who work with those kinds of ranges and the same kind of setups and whatnot, but the way he documents it is phenomenal. He just watching his shots is so satisfying. He knows exactly where to land his darts and how to land them.
Ooh, that was a good hit.
So it's not too far off. It's weird that 5 years ago that was still a joke term, Nerf sniper, and to the casual player it still is, but it's becoming less and less of a joke because we're getting closer and closer to some of those extreme ranges where if you have someone who really knows exactly what darts that are firing, they haven't just grabbed a handful of whatever darts, they're using very specific darts, not necessarily homemades. They're other darts nowadays. It seems like worker darts actually seem to do the job just fine, and those, I would argue, are not homemades. The right darts, you've got the right setup, scar barrels for days. It's possible.
Monster spring loads.
Well,
a good spring.
In Singapore, that's all you're dealing with too. But in the U.S. games, most of it, we were talking about End War, you really don't have snipers there because you're limited to 130 feet per second, whether you're using a Rapid Strike or a Caliburn or a Maverick. You have the same limits.
But in that case, you also just crossed a line between game types, right? Because that's HVZ, correct?
Correct. And that's something else I was talking about that I greatly dislike about End of War, being one of the premier
HVZ.
Nerf events. Yeah, I have no problem with HVZ players. I got mad respect for them.
That's a lot of running and dodging and...
Hey, sign me up.
When I go to a Nerf event, I want to go play Nerf, not to play hiding, to go seek and tag. It really bothers me that once you get tagged out the first time, the rest of the weekend, you don't get to play with your blasters. And it also bothers me that the bad guys aren't shooting back at you.
See, and the way when I get my Nerf group down here set up, the way we're going to do HVZ, humans will use white or blue elite darts. Zombies will use green elite darts to represent zombies. Use their blasters.
Elite darts. You mean elite sized or just elites?
Elite standard size. That's what I kind of mean. But they'll use green darts to represent.
Wow, good luck. That's going to be tricky.
Represent zombies, and white or blue to represent humans. These are still able to use blasters, and they're not running around with foam. The thing is, with zombies, they have to be within, let's say, 15 feet to be able to pull the trigger and tag you out.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, you're then still destroying. Let's say 15 feet. I'm fine with, because the Nemesis is a good mid-range control. That's what Rival does well. We spam a lot of ammo for mid-range control. We handle up close mid-range. We suck strikes take us out every time. If you watch like TK or Dark Dragon stuff, every time I play Rush, they send a super strife to take out the nemesises. Even if you can find my channel with the one game I have up, you'll see that they keep sending one particular player, Jesse, after me to take me out. Because I'm just sitting there on the hill, nemesis, boom, 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 clearing them up as they come up the hill.
Mm-hmm. One strife marches up.
Yeah, well,
you do have a point, though, with the what you said before, like the whole, and more being HVZ and whatnot. It is a very different game compared to just having like a Nerf war, and I can see how some people might not like that, because what's so great about having Nerf style events where you can choose your own play style, you have then a lot of options with your loadouts, because that's what makes it so accepting, right? You don't have to be in like peak physical condition so that you can get to the other side of the field in 5 seconds and, dodge darts all the time and, and, keep doing that for hours on end. It's like, no, you can stand around a little bit and pop shots on the other side if you want to. Like, it's totally fine. Like, we're happy to have people who, maybe want to run around more, but it's also totally acceptable to have people who don't want to maybe run at all, or sometimes, younger kids as well who are going to just run around all day, maybe even the wrong direction. It happens, but we're really accepting of that. When it comes to HVZ, a lot of those options seem to become limited because there is more of a there is more of a reason to try and focus on objectives and stay alive. Like, there's a cost if you don't do something correctly, or if you choose kind of a poor loadout, or make a mistake and don't have like the right play style. Because yes, if a horde of zombies comes up behind you and what's keeping you from death is just running to a spot that is the safe zone and you don't run, that's game over, right? Like, maybe you do have the ammo to take all of them out, but all you need to do is be overwhelmed, and that's that. Like, if it's just about moving, then, that's a different element that you didn't have at a Nerf war where you get tagged out there and, okay, maybe, it's 5 seconds until you come back at a respawn, or it's like another 10 minutes before the next game starts. So I totally understand why people aren't as thrilled when, it's like, it's going to be HVZ, because there's always someone who's like, well, I like it, but I don't want to play as a zombie. Like, I'm a terrible zombie. There's always someone who says that, and it's understandable why.
I mean,
that's kind of why. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Kind of why. Like I said, people don't like to be zombies mainly for the fact that they can't use their blasters, and that's what I was saying. Is how I will, in our game, the zombies will be able to use their blasters. Granted, they cannot be a modified blaster because then it's just not fair. Because if you're running an upgraded strife, you're going to be able to and just tag like 10 people out from long distance. That's why I'm making it as well. It's where you have to be within 15 feet to hit you from further than like close range.
The other thing is, like, part of my play style, you weren't here for this earlier, Britt. Part of my play style is actually forced. I got in a bad car accident 20 years ago. I have 2 fake knees. It's not that I don't want to run. I physically can't. So
yeah, and I know other people in the same situation. Like, we have one of our attendees, his son is disabled. He's in a wheelchair, permanently. So, like, what would he do if you just threw him into a general HVZ game? Like, there has to be something that accounts for that. There's always something where it's like, well, what about this? Like, I can't actually do this. And so suddenly it's like, well, then HVZ doesn't actually sound like it's right for me, huh? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that people should adapt to it. I'm just saying that's just kind of how it is set up, and I understand why people are not always thrilled to do that. And the whole, you bring all of your cool blasters, and this is my new thing. Like, this is how it's going to feed everything, and I've got some spare mags, and the second you make a mistake and, oh, well, now you got to drop everything and you're literally just going to run around with nothing.
Right.
Oh, that's different.
And the other issue with it is, depending on what squad you run on, I am definitely a nobody. But the squad I run on has, unfortunately, a couple names on it. So you not only have your tryhards that want to stay human, you have your tryhard zombies that are there just to, I don't have a nice way to say it, be a troll and ruin somebody's vacation. They want to piss in somebody's Cheerios. That's what gives them their jollies, which is horrible.
To approach any type of sport or activity in that regard as well.
But with other sports and activities, there's generally a way to come back from somebody making a bad experience for you. If you're there to play as a human and you're being singled out because you're friends with Coop, just using that as an example, and you're running in Coop Squad, Unicorn Tactical, Pony, Pink, whatever his squad is. I don't know what it is.
That does sound pretty amusing, though, doesn't it?
But
I can imagine what that's like.
With the unicorns.
If you're a nobody that met Frank Cooper outside of the Nerf world, and he brought you into the Nerf world and brings you to End War, and you're like, I get to play with Nerf guns all weekend, tell me that the OZs are not going to be gunning for Coop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you being inexperienced, you're going to be tagged out by proxy just by being around him, and your entire event is done. It's ruined.
Mm-hmm. Well, if that's what ruins it, then possibly. That's why people just have to understand what they're getting into. Like, if they come to an HVZ game, especially an HVZ game like this, they put a lot of time and money into getting to said event, and they think that it's going to be, Nerf v Nerf battles the entire weekend. They're wrong, right? Like, there are chances for you to play around with your gear, that's for certain, but it's not necessarily going to be structured like a general game. It's a HVZ event where things can happen, and suddenly you can be playing a different game than you wanted to. I for one am okay with that. I have missed out on many HVZ games in my life, so any HVZ I can do is welcomed, since I only hear fun HVZ stories from friends, like especially Chalo and company. They are the worst, but they are also the best about it. So, I'm okay with that. But if people, if Bret remembers what he wants to say, then that would be good too. I don't know where I was going with that. I hope that people at least have seen enough of what NVZ or End War, like the structure of an HVZ game is like. If people are just seeing oh, there's a big gathering of people, and I recognize that guy, I recognize that girl, I recognize these Nerf folks. I want to go to that because I'm going to see them and I'm going to hang around with them the whole time and be best buds. And if that's why they're going, well, I hope they realize that there's also a game.
Well, the main reason I'm going is actually to go to PhoneCon. I want to go hang out with Michelle again, Adriana, Thomas from Containment Crew. All my friends I don't get to see.
Yeah, that'll be a really cool event. I'm really looking forward to that as well. I don't plan on buying too much stuff because, fortunately, as someone who does not do the craziest mods ever, I have no strong desire to buy the newest motors, which I guess is a curse and a blessing. But I am happy to see all of their hard work, and it is very cool to meet new people, and that kind of opportunity is amazing as well. Just to have all those people in one room, just really big groups that have so much work put into this hobby, and just to see what they've done with it is like, and in one space, sounds awesome, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Is in the same place as N-War, or is it separate?
FoamCon is the same place as N-War.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. But yeah, I think the main reason I want to go to N-War is just to figure out which way is the best way to run my gear. Because personally, I don't have a plate carrier. I don't have, the most fancy thing. I have a Nerf tack vest.
Cool.
But you know what, though? I've modified it to fit me. I'm not the skinniest person in the world here. And I've cut the shoulders a little bit, so it does, stretch down a little bit. And I plan on probably, putting some elastic on the shoulders so I can pull it down and tighten it. But, for what I use it for, and, in the neighborhood I use it, and it does its job.
I hate to say it.
Nice cape carrier.
The best way to figure out your loadout is not going to a big event. And it's going to a little local event. If you don't have a local event, make one. Like, just random kids in a park. Because if you're going to travel that far to go to a big event and you don't know how your equipment works and you're going to play, Beret is going to have a miserable time, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, as we have kind of alluded to now, like if your sole purpose is to go there and like test your gear, you might just find out how it works, but you may not want to know that answer. So I think if you are focused a little bit more on that one aspect, you may not need such a large event to test it out. There are probably opportunities for you to just play around with it before that. And if you do kind of want to show your best side, to the hundreds of people there, I guess a little practice beforehand wouldn't hurt, because the last thing that you want to do, and it doesn't actually matter like if you're trying to show off to other people. What really matters is like, if you do go to an event like End War, and again, HVZ game, and you're testing something out for the first time, you don't want to be in a situation where suddenly all of your gear has fallen off your body for whatever reason, and it's like, oh my gosh, this sucks. Like, I'm still here, this is awesome, but everything I planned is just going wrong, and this is not what I wanted.
Testing gear at End War is basically saying you want to be an OZ.
Sorry for the random interruption, but I actually have to go, guys. I may return in a few minutes with something kind of cool, but I have to go for the time being. I'll see you guys maybe soon.
Toodaloo.
Another thing is I got a couple more, neighborhood events coming up, and I'll probably use that time to test out my gear. More than likely, I'll be running. If I go to End War and I have Osiris, which is my Straven, and if I have that fully built out, ready to go, like I'll use it at home and kind of break it in, but that'll be its first debut, really, like to the Nerf scene. And I'd like to see what people say about it at the same time, because it's. I don't know. I haven't really seen that much of a rapid strike pusher, full dual flywheel, Chris Vector Straven.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of cool to. I think Pro is going to fling darts faster, not fast, but like rate of fire wise. Because I do plan to run it on 4 IMRs.
That's the other issue, though, is when you're actually playing, like, bringing out your super special whatever it is. It's nice, but nobody's going to look at it. When I'm out at a war, I don't look at what's in their hand. I am looking center mass to try to get my tag. They could be holding the coolest blaster ever. I'm following my shots center mass. I can go, I got you, and move to my next target. And I look center mass and follow darts.
Or pre-war, like before we go in, and you're gathered around waiting to start. I'd be using it and testing it out, make sure everything's good to go for the round.
Well,
It's like everything surrounding the event is kind of the time where you show off your stuff and see what everyone else has got, and that's when you really like collaborate with other people. And like I'm really looking forward to an event like End War to meet more people. That's really why I'm interested in going. And it, yeah, you don't kind of get this gathering of Nerf enthusiasts too many other places, on this kind of grand scale. So that's definitely something I'll get at.
Thing.
What was that?
Aaron Esther's like big war or whatever that is.
The Texas battle, the Jared's epic Nerf battle,
something like that. Yeah.
But
won't really do the world record. But that's stock.
That's the other thing at like wars. You have downtime where you get to look at other people's stuff. Pretty much, if you're there to look at stuff, you got FoamCon and closing ceremonies, because the second it rolls over to midnight, game's on. There was literally somebody tagged out 5 minutes in because they were coming home back to their hotel from pre-game just screwing around thing that they were doing. A couple of the guys from my crew left early. They're like, we want to be back in the hotel room by midnight. We don't want to get tagged out on our way back with
it starts at midnight?
Gear. Yes. And you are in the entire time. You go to a restaurant, you're in play. You go to the bathroom, you're in play. Now, inside are safe areas, but there's no rules that say they can't wait for you outside the door, which they do. There's a certain engagement range. You're not like allowed to engage within like 5 foot of the door or something like that.
They used to say as kids, no puppy guarding.
Yep. Well, you can guard.
Oh God!
They get a 5 foot lead, basically.
When and where did they post
the fire ready when I open the door? Just boom! Just have a chance to hit them.
I'm going off of the rules from last year because I'm. This is a huge assumption. I'm assuming that they're going to be the same.
Mm-hmm. I imagine they'd have more special rules this year too, like with special
caliburns and all that stuff too.
Oh, I can't imagine people using caliburns at End War.
No.
That is just ultimately impractical. And I don't know someone who has that low power of a caliburn.
Someone is going to have a caliburn. There's so many people there. The chances of someone having a caliburn.
But what is I don't know what the lowest FPS ratings I've seen off of a caliburn are.
You can get like the right springs and get it low enough.
Well, in this case, the wrong spring. Like,
you at End War, like I said, I'd probably be running Osiris or my LMG Vulcan. That's if it's even ready by then, because I don't know how much work I'm going to need to do to that thing.
Well, that's another thing that kind of bugs me about it in a way. And I'm not trying to sound negative about End War. I'm really not. Because I am so looking forward to it. I am looking forward to FoamCon. I am not looking forward to playing my first real HVZ ever because it's not my play style. I even skip the HVZ rounds with the club I play with because it's not my play style. But you have 130 FPS cap.
Right.
There are people that their local club might have 150 FPS cap. So you're saying because of those 20 FPS, their Super Strife, they can't use. It's almost forcing them to learn a completely different role to go to the premier Nerf event.
But it's best to build 2 primaries, one for that higher end, one for the lower end, and you use them both, and you kind of get a feel for how each one performs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
But then you're doing twice the training.
We don't have to work on the other one to lower the power of it or go to it to increase the power of it. You have one that's set for higher, you have one that's set for lower.
Yes, but my high power strife and my low power strife perform very differently, and I have to play very differently with them on the field. I can't take my high power strife and treat it like my low power strife, and vice versa. It's completely different tactics for both.
And I see what you're saying, but
Like
how are they?
I can tell you, the SCNC players are already starting to practice for End War right now to get their teamwork and their tactics down. If you look, I don't know if any of your people are in the SCNC group, but if they look at the game roster types, they're going to see more and more zombie rounds coming up. They're going to see more team factions, more squads.
I have heard that.
A lot of focus on squads because Beret can attest to this. You don't keep yourself alive; your buddies keep you alive. You can't always watch your own back. You travel in a group.
And seeing TK's footage from last year, it definitely proved that they had their squads and they had their tactics. Like they had it figured out, which was good. And I'm sure, it's only made them more and more interested in prepping for that now. So to that I say, I commend them. That's awesome. I would totally do that too. However, that's not what I'm doing. So I am going there to be a complete idiot, which is kind of what I already do. I will be my usual self. I will run around and help or
Probably just gonna run by myself.
Be me as necessary. Try and stay alive as long as possible, but ultimately I expect to become a zombie and continue running around like a doofus. But I'm going there knowing that, and expecting that play style regardless. So I when I think about wanting to prep for that, and I'm like, it sounds really interesting. It sounds like a lot of fun, and there are games coming up too where like Jangular started getting his 5v5s more figured out, and we want to move some of those games up to here as well and get teams figured out. And that's a very different play style to what I have right now because I haven't played with a lot of the blasters I would probably use for something like that. And as I just look and listen more and more to those kinds of the tactics, the mechanics of the game, and what you do, it's like, yes, that does sound really cool, and I would like to do that a little bit here and there, but ultimately, I just like being a goofball, not like trolling people and like trying to make them feel bad about what they're doing. Like, aha, you spent so much time doing this. Well, I'm gonna like survive longer than you. Lol. Like, no, just having a ton of fun, because that's what makes me happy, and the atmosphere is what's going to make me the happiest. Not necessarily making the coolest blaster ever and getting the most tags with it. Like a kill count doesn't really seem that attractive to me. Like, I get that you want to slay the most zombies, but sure, like that, okay. It's more fun just to be there, and
it's more fun about the experience than the actual kill count.
Yeah,
it's more about being there and making new friends, and talking to people and getting ideas, and more about the community aspect than it is about the actual game. It's more about this is like, and me, I get crap all the time because I'd nerf, and like a lot of people nerf, but for me it's like always been into airsoft. Why are you now into nerf? You're not, you need to come back to airsoft. I'm like,
you're going backwards.
I don't, I loved airsoft, and they put this a good way earlier in the podcast. Wrapping up here in like 5 minutes. It's almost 1:00 in the morning for me. They put it a good way as, you're not going to get shot if you walk outside with a Nerf gun. And it's, and the way I see it is that, parents really aren't going to want their kids running around with these high-powered 300, 400 FPS pistols, rifles, shooting each other in a public park. However, park, you see a little sign up that says Nerf for today. It's like, oh, cool, you have Nerf guns at home. They go get their Nerf guns, and it's a good way to, really bring your community together. Aside from this kid has a black gun in a park and he's wearing a full vest and he's shooting people. Call the cops. No, you see a bunch of kids running around in a park with Nerf guns. It's like, oh, that's cool. And then more and more people get involved. It's more of a way to bring your community together and not scare the living daylights out of people by running around with airsoft guns.
Yep. We're certainly at a point where we can do that with Nerf too, unfortunately, but yes. Agreed. What was the point of my small tangent earlier? Don't be afraid to attend a game just because you don't think you're prepared. He said, maybe End War's not the best spot to see if your loadout works, see if your gear is going to work together and give you kind of like the ultimate loadout to survive the longest, because that might not actually, Sonic, that might actually not be might not keep you alive. But don't be afraid to go to games and not be entirely prepared for them, because it's like, well, I think they're using these and I don't have one. Because there's a good chance that if you ask nicely, you're polite, you're just a decent human being, people will talk to you. They will maybe lend you their stuff. They'll give you insight. It's not like we are here to be 100% elitist, and I say that because I'm sure we all act like that at some point. We've all had that moment where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this noob doesn't understand this. Like,
I had that moment literally 20 minutes ago.
So we're all on. We've all been on both sides of that. So we get what it feels like, and as long as you can remember that is a thing, we'll keep letting people get further and further into the hobby and feel comfortable about it, so long as we're open and like, hey, we don't criticize people just for showing up with a Maverick, because it happens. There are people who I have Nerf, and they bring their Maverick, and it happens to be it's just a super stock round, but you're using strifes that have new motors and flywheels and lipos, and they're like, I have a Maverick, and you're like, that is awesome. But let me tell you something.
I have a Maverick, but actually it's CO2 powered and it's a sleeper pistol.
Exactly.
And so I'm just trying to make everybody seem like I'm the absolute noobiest noob and running just a Maverick.
Too. Fake prime at every shot.
Yep.
Everybody's wondering why it sounds like you're farting every time you pull the trigger. Oh, what the hell?
How is he hitting me from 50 feet away with an elite dart out of a Maverick? Stricter into a penny mod, you could say.
That is actually most of the mods that I do, because fuck buying new blasters.
From a thrift store, but honestly, I have one thrift store near me, and I couldn't do a thrift video on it because you only get like 2 blasters, 3. Occasionally, you'll get like 4 or 5.
I have 4 thrift stores near me. One of them is a Goodwill, but my local Goodwill chain likes to price everything up to twice their actual value.
Territory?
Yeah, I am in SENC territory, but there isn't anybody around here that's actually in the SENC, but I'm in the kind of territory where somebody that is going to an SENC event would stop by, pick up all the blasters, and make off. Plus, there are never any fucking blasters. Like, I see a Maverick every once in a while.
Because there are spare parts. If you have a Maverick and it breaks, you have replacement parts.
If you're in Georgia, when I do my Goodwill runs, I go to 7 Goodwills and I might come home with 2 blasters.
Exactly.
to one thrift store and I'll pick up like 3 or 4. The one thing I actually picked up that was good.
Like,
I mean,
I hate
quick
to,
16.
I hate to say it, when we were facing the stripes shortage, I was paying people in California to go thrifting for me so that I could actually get stripes. I'm like,
When we were in the strife shortage, I went to this Goodwill by my, or not Goodwill, but this thrift store by my city thrift. It was called, or Thrift City. I found an OG blue strife.
cool.
For it.
Like, Walt, you know where the fuck I live. I showed you my address.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm running up against with thrifting too, so.
Yeah.
Still, for
Like,
the price
I only have 4 places around me that are thrift stores. If you go to 7 different Goodwills, I only have 1 Goodwill. I have 2 Salvation Armies and a ministry place that has a thrift store attached to it.
I go to Buford, I go to Winder, I go to Sugar Hill.
I have a flea market by me. That's the best source. But this lady, she wanted $25 for a sun-bleached Firefly.
I would have told her, go to eBay. You might get an extra $1 for it. Anyways, I'm going to go off to bed. What I came in here to say is that apparently one of the streamers that I've been following for a long time, one of his good buddies actually just got pinned for pedophilia.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. So if you see a lot of My Little Pony people talking about somebody getting pressed with pedophilia charges, that's what happened.
I'll be sure to keep my ears open.
Don't.
This has been the first episode of a podcasts here on my channel.
Still fucking recording?
Yep.
Thank you to Beret.
It's been like 2.5 hours
for joining us, Sonic and Walt, and everyone else who was here earlier. I'll link their channels in the description. And yeah, anyone want to say anything before we end it?
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
That's a pretty good farewell.
Yeah, right.
Stay frosty. I don't know. I don't have an outro.
Wear your seatbelts.
Bret, it was an honor to have you on the stream or on the podcast. Hope to see you on many more, or talk to you on many more.
Yep, I got, unfortunately, plenty to talk about.
When it comes to Nerf podcasts, there's always so much more developing in this community, and there's always going to be stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. All right. Well, you're good.